Welcome, race fans. Tonight, GAC takes to Kansas, the progressive bank track that everybody loves. For I believe they're going to be turning 100 laps. I believe that's what it is. Gosh, I've kind of forgot myself. Yeah, 100 laps. Scott will be along here in just a minute. We'll try to go down through the points and everything here with you. But thanks for joining us here tonight on MaxSpeedTV. We appreciate it. These guys appreciate it. They love to have fans. And hopefully they'll put on a great show here for you tonight, as they always do. So thanks for joining us. pretty good sized field here tonight. Looks like so far, looks like about 34 drivers going to be taken to the track here. They're in a drivers meeting at the moment here, laying over the rules here. We've got a couple of new members to kind of watch for tonight. I know Mark Arthur, one of my old friends there, he is in there tonight, so good to have Mark in another broadcast here by MaxSpeedTV. And I'm sure there's a couple others that I have not. Maybe I guess we got everybody. But a couple of older ones, Keith Mayato is in there as well. Nathan Miller. Good to see Nathan back in here. Practice underway here. Okay, about a minute and a half away from qualifying. And again, this is the GAC Xfinity Series ongoing. And like I said, Scott will be along here in a minute to run down through the points for us. Just waiting for him to get in here. All right, that looks like that's going to wrap up practice. We're going to step away and play our national anthem, and we will be right back. Okay, we're back, and Scott is in here now with us. Welcome, Scott.
Hey, Rudy, how you doing tonight?
Doing all right, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Ready for a little racing out here in Kansas with the GAC boys here tonight in their second race of the season.
I found out the correct pronunciation of Keith's name. It's Mayato.
Mayato? All right.
Mayato. Yep. I said, okay, it works for me.
We won't butcher it this week.
Yeah,
we got a big field here tonight, man. This is gonna be a good race because the car feels great. You pretty much don't even really have to lift too much going into the corner, so we should see a lot of racing here and hopefully not a lot of pacing.
Yeah, I was getting reports from Jeff Dotson there yesterday, I think it was. He said that the car felt amazing. He said for the first few laps, he said you don't even have to lift in the corners. Just take it up about close to the wall and just ride that wall around. Kansas, one of the tracks out there that does have progressive banking, one of the few. There's a few that claim to, but they're really not. This does have progressive banking. And that means the further you go up the hill toward the outside wall, the more the banking is greater. So I remember we were talking about it, Scott. I remember when this track first came out, and we ran the trucks on it the very first night. You know, we just everybody just downloaded it, and we put the trucks on it, and man, it was amazing. You could run about 10 laps just flat out. It was like driving at Talladega.
I don't think I've run too many races here. Maybe once or twice in the IndyCar series a couple builds ago, but I've never run the stock car here.
Yeah. I think I've only ran the B car here one time. I've always just ran the trucks here. Sorry if I got the sniffles. All of a sudden my nose decided to plug up.
Well, Rudy, well, we got a minute here. Let's run down our top 10 of the points coming into tonight. They've only had one race, but Mark McFadden won it last week, and he's your points leader right now. Charles Smith finished second. Curtis Aho is tied with Jeff Dodson for third in the points after penalties and all that such. Jim Locking is fifth. Michael Palmer is sixth. Tom Clayton seventh. Jim Whaley Jr. eighth. Paul Zoda ninth. And Dwayne LaPrade rounds out top 10 in the points after one race.
Yeah, if you get a chance, check out the back of Mark McFadden's car. He put a new paint scheme on it today. He said if you think it's cold in Vancouver, because he said, it's been cold everywhere. And I said, yeah, you're right. So, but check out the back.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, pretty much the same as it was last week. Catch GAC Racing on MaxSpeedTV and Rudy and Scott.
That's pretty cool that he did that, and I appreciate the plug that he does that for MaxSpeedTV, and we appreciate everyone tuning in for this race here today.
All right, we're ready
That's going to do it for qualifying, Rudy.
Yeah, let's go down through the grid here real quick. Keith Mayato will start in first place. Len McNeese in second. Dean Underwood in third. Dustin Golden fourth. Charles Smith in fifth. Mark Arthur starting in sixth in his debut race here at GAC. Trevor Malone in seventh. Randy Bledsoe eighth. Randy Perdue in ninth. Paul Cohen 10th. Scott?
Michael Palmer will start 11th. Michael Campbell will start 12th. Gary Shank. Sorry about that. I had to mute the in-race chat there. Gary Shank will start 13th. John Stanley will start 14th. Kevin Cornelius 15th. Tom Clayton starts 16th. Paul Zoda back there in the 17th position. Shane Gross, last season's points champion, will start 18th tonight. Jeff Dodson starts 19th. And David Gain, 4th, rounds out the top 20. Rudy?
All right, Rob Whitmore in 21st. Stephen Parks, 22nd. James Tyler, 23rd. Anthony Cianci, 24th. Jim Locking, 25th. Mark McFadden back in 26th. Dean Viney, 27th. Dwayne LaPrade. We'll be watching for Dwayne to try to get to the front as he usually does. We'll be starting in the 28th position. Timothy Kelleher, 29th. And Nathan Miller, 30th. Scott?
Jim Whaley Jr. will start 32nd. Terry Walters back there in 34th. John Estes 35th. And Michael Maxwell riding shotgun tonight will round out the field back there in 36th already.
All right.
Time to go racing. That's going to be some tall work for the points leader to work his way through the field like that, starting back there in, 26th position?
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that myself.
Well, here we go, Rudy. Everybody's pulled off, and we are ready to go racing. Get us going, buddy.
I'll do it. Look at Len McNeese up there on the outside of that front row. And he's loud and proud up there, ain't he?
Yes, sir. It's been a while since we've seen Len win a race. You know he's going to be hungry for a win.
Ace car's in. Mayato off and going here. Green, green, green.
Good start by the 84 there. Pretty good start by everybody, actually. My auto did not get a good jump.
Yeah, Len was right there on top of that. Dean Underwood. And Dustin Golden going at it. Dustin is going to come out on top of that battle, and he will go into third. Dean Underwood back in fourth.
Yeah, that bottom line worked for about a lap, and then you'll see the high line take over here.
And from what I understand, so you know, Scott, they are not allowed to go below the white line.
Yeah, I heard that in the driver's meeting. I was actually going to touch on that and let you know about that, but glad to see you already know about it, buddy.
Yeah, I heard them talking about it because a few of the guys were trying it during practice, and it's that transition coming back up onto the racetrack that was upsetting that car, and we've seen a lot of guys getting loose and spinning it, you know, and they didn't want a bunch of cautions, so.
Well, Rudy, we got a new leader. The 84, Len McNeese, has made the pass, and he's got company coming along with him. Maito is going to fall back to third.
Yep, Dustin Golden giving Len a little bump there.
Yeah, he's pushing him.
Len, both of them lead a lap, then Keith Mayato and Len McNeese each lead a lap.
A 0-12 and the 85 almost had contact there. That was pretty close.
.012 of Mark Arthur. And Charles Smith goes back to 7th. Randy Perdue in 8th, now looking to the inside of Charles Smith. And it looks like he's going to make it stick down there on that bottom. And he takes over the 7th place from Charles Smith. Gary Shank back here in 12th.
And Rudy, just checking on our points leader right now, Mark McFadden. He started the race 26th. He's actually lost position. He's currently running in 27th position as we work lap number 5 of 100.
And Dustin Golden does take over the lead, and he does lead a lap. Now he comes around to complete another lap here. He will lead his second lap of the race.
Just as I suspected, Rudy, that we would see some good racing out here with how the car felt.
Oh, yeah, I had no doubt from the reports I'm hearing. Somebody's off the pace there.
Oh, we got a caution.
Yeah.
Just as I say that.
Trying to catch up with who it was, but
12 just got hit from behind, and the guy that hit him from behind looks like a 51. Just blew up when he hit him. Might be the 57. It is the 57. He just blew up when he ran into the back of the 12 trying to get checked up there.
Well, let's go check it out here and see what happened. Okay, it was
That's James Tyler in the 57 that's smoking. We got another one coming down pit road smoking.
The number 5, Randy Perdue. Looks like Randy might have got into the back of Mark Arthur. Now, Mark was a little loose going into turn 1. Looked like he'd been into the outside wall. Yeah, he did get into the outside wall, and when he come down the track, Randy Perdue was coming around. But Randy kind of drove it up the hill a little bit and got into Mark Arthur. And I think that's what started it. And then Randy Perdue proceeds down across the track onto the apron and back up onto the track and collects Mark Arthur yet again.
And Stephen Parks was caught up in that at some point. He was the car that was on pit road. He just got service.
Well, I believe they do have one reset, correct?
Yes, sir. So he just used his, as did them other guys.
Yeah, well,
pretty early to be using resets.
I agree. I agree, 100%.
That was competitive racing, though.
Well, not the way these guys wanted to start it out, but at least now everybody's going to have fresh tires. They know what to expect out of their cars now. And Maybe they'll be a little more patient about that.
Well, everybody but Lynn McNeese and Michael will have fresh tires anyway.
Right. Michael Campbell, both of them stayed out. Michael Campbell sporting a new paint job tonight, Fanatec. Almost looks like it's a stock paint job, but he's coming to pit road.
Hey, he thought better of it.
And I'm not going to stay out there on them older tires, not when everybody behind me's got fresh ones. I ain't going to do it.
Well, who do you want to interview first, Rudy? How about it, brother?
Well, do we want to interview anybody this early?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
You never know. This could be our only caution of the race.
Well, there was somebody I did want to talk to, but they got their mic muted. Nathan Miller. I don't know if he can... is he even in the race? No. Yeah, he is. Let me see if I can get him down here and talk to him.
Yeah, he's currently back there in 16th.
Yeah, Nathan Miller, are you there?
What's up, Rudy?
Well, hey, good to see you out there racing tonight. How's the car feel?
Car feels good. That's real comfortable. I didn't get much practice. I started in the back and just kind of feeling it out right now. So it feels pretty good.
Well, it's good to see you out there again, Nathan. Let's see, talking about the Kansas track here, we were talking about it earlier. Just when this track first come out, if you remember, I ran trucks on it, and man, you could just flat-foot it around here. Does the setup feel about the same?
It does. You can flat-foot it right off the bat with fresh tires. I don't know how long that lasts. Like I said, I didn't get much practice with it.
Yeah.
But you know me, I'm more of a long-run kind of guy, so I'm actually not flat-footing it, even though I can. I'm just trying to be conservative, and I'd like to have the best tires late. So I'm going to try to stick with that strategy.
That's a good strategy to have, my friend. All right, well, good luck out there tonight, and we'll try to get you in victory lane.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do, man. It's great to talk to you again, Rudy.
Okay, take care, bud. Yeah, old buddy Nathan Miller. Boy, it's been a while since we've seen him out here racing with these guys.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Well, them lights are off, Rudy. You know what that means.
It's race time again.
That's right. Well, look who snuck up there on the bottom side in row 3. The number 25 at Gary Shanks started back middle of this field, but has already worked his way up to 5th position, Rudy.
Yeah, he's good about doing that, you know? Sneaking it in there when nobody's paying attention. All right, pace.
Here we go, buddy.
Go ahead.
Pace car's off. Green flag's out. We're racing again here in Kansas. Can Len McNeese fight these guys off with older tires? They're not much older, but they are older. Just depends on how much he was flat-footing it around here, like you heard Nathan Miller talking about.
Exactly.
And as you see on that bottom line, it's good on the restarts. After about a lap, you want to get back up into that high groove. The high groove's the place to be.
Here comes Dustin Golden back to the front.
We got another caution, Rudy. That was quick.
Wow. And that was Dean Underwood. Looks like it just a self-spin, but he did collect a couple of guys into it. They were just barely getting up to speed here.
Looks like he might have got a little help in that from the 38.
Oh, yes, he did. Yep. I think he might have thought he was clear there, and he wasn't. And he got into the number 5 of Randy Perdue. Randy got some pretty heavy damage on that.
Yeah, Randy's already used his reset. He was in that last caution, so that might do it for him tonight.
Yeah. That's going to put Dean back in 32nd place here. Yeah, quick caution, right, bang, bang, like that. Man, I hate to see that.
Yeah, we didn't even get a lap in.
I'm not exactly sure what happened to Stephen Parks, but Stephen is a lap down.
He was in that first caution, Rudy. He was one of the guys that had to pit for damage. He's used his reset as well. Will Lynn come down this time, or will he go ahead and stay out? He stays out.
He stays out.
I don't blame him.
Nope.
One lap ain't going to make a difference at this point.
No, the longer he waits, the longer he's got to go on that same set of tires, and then he can have fresh tires. He's going to be off a pit sequence from everybody else.
If we continue to get cautions, they'll wind up all pitting together and all be back on the same sequence.
Yeah, eventually. Yep.
With this many cars in the race, I doubt we'll go green the rest of the way. We'll probably have a couple more cautions. It's just going to be a matter of how much he preserves them tires, how much they can hold up onto the longer run.
Well, Dustin Golden riding in second there, eager to get back into the lead. He led 3 laps earlier, but Len got back around him, and Len has led, this will be lap number 8. He's led right here the most of anybody. Well, they'll get settled in here in just a minute, because the field's going to start, the guys are going to start being a little more ginger with them cars.
Oh, yeah. All that, I was going to say, all that snow you guys been having is messing with you.
Ah, heck, our snow melted today. We just had I think the other day when it snowed there, I think we had about maybe 3 inches, and after yesterday we had about 1 inch, and today it's all gone.
Don't jinx yourself, Rudy.
No, I don't.
We're calling a race. You got the max speed jinx, man. You jinx yourself, you'll get like 8 inches tomorrow.
I hope not. Jeez. If I never seen another snowflake as long as I lived, it wouldn't bother me a bit.
That's how I feel. That's why I live in Florida.
I've shoveled 85 trillion tons of that stuff, and I don't want to shovel no more. Yeah, I might have exaggerated by 1 trillion, but probably 84 trillion tons. All right, looks like the lights are out, and we're ready to go green next time. Bye.
All right.
I hope everybody's enjoying the show here tonight. We've got 45 viewers in there right now.
Very cool.
We did
Good
have
to see everyone tuning in tonight, enjoying the race with us.
We did have 50, and all of a sudden it dropped down to 45. But
People had a hot day tonight. Hot Monday night day.
well, we want to see some green flag racing, not yellow flag pacing, right?
I got my fingers crossed. Same story. Cam McNeese hold off all these guys on fresher tires, Rudy.
Yeah, and Gary Shank even further to the front now. He's starting in 4th.
Yep.
Going to be interesting.
High side's not the best place to be, though, on the restart.
Pace car's in. And green flag out. Here we go. Back under green here at Kansas tonight with the GAC Racing League.
A lot of them out there.
And Dustin Golden trying to make something happen on the high sides, saying, well, you know, with these newer tires, it's just not as good up there. He can take it to the bottom here. He may try to get a run on Len McNeese, but Len comes right down the hill and holds him off, and Len's doing a great job of it. He's got that thing hooked up. Keith Mayato back in the 3rd place.
Yeah, he was our pole sitter, Rudy. He wants to get back up here and lead some more laps. He's got fresher tires, and he says, excuse me.
Yeah. Excuse me. To the inside there of Dustin Golden. Golden gets a great run off of turn 2 and holds him off for the time being. Well, let's go back in the field here with Paul Zoda in 13th. Tom Clayton. Now to the inside of Mark McFadden. Mark holds him off, though, at the line. Good job for Mark. Last week's winner right there, Mark McFadden.
Yeah, that's our points leader.
Yeah, and our points leader. Exactly.
Trying to work his way up through the field and gain as many positions as he can to try to maintain that points lead here tonight.
Michael Maxwell, 16th. Shane Gross, last season's winner, in 17th
Here we
place.
go, Rudy. Challenge for the lead, side by side.
And I believe Dustin Golden did lead that lap. When he gets a great run on that high side, look at that. Len can't hold to him right there.
Nope. That's them fresher tires, Rudy. He's starting to gain momentum running that high side, and that's the fresher tires. Here comes the 6. He's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, he's seeing how well that's working now. The best thing Len could do would be to move up the hill and run that line the same as the leader's running right now. I don't know if he's listening to me or not, but it looks like he did move up a little. About a half a race group. Oh, on the outside. My auto gets a great run, and there he goes. He's going to do the same thing Dustin Golden did at Len McNeese. And now Gary Shank joins in the picture. Gary's going to almost took a 3 wide right there. Oh, and Gary taps the wall. Boy, that was a good move by Len right there, because Len seen what happened. Just as it happened, he pulled down a little bit and kept him from getting into Gary Shank.
Yeah, Shank's got some right front damage there. You can see it. It's the right front quarter panel sticking up a little bit.
Yep, I see it.
See if it slows him down a little bit or not. It doesn't look like it right now, but McNeese is also on them older tires, so they're starting to pull away from him. He's dropping like a stone in the ocean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Randy Bledsoe gets by. Next one will be Trevor Malone. Trevor back here 6th place. Paul Cohen in 7th. Let's go back in the field here a ways. Terry Walters. Good to see Terry back out there racing with these guys. 30th place. Stephen Parks 31st. Jim Whaley 32nd. And the last one on the lead lap, Timothy Kelleher. And Dean Underwood is actually about 3 laps down. I guess he is 3 laps down to the leader. So waiting to see when Dwayne LaPrad's going to move it in. He's going to, he can't pace back there too awful long. He's got to start thinking about working his way slowly to the front.
There's still a long way to go, Rudy, but under these green flag conditions, he can only go so far. They're getting so spaced out here.
Michael,
How about some of these guys running in the top 10 tonight, Rudy, like the 51 of Paul Cohen and the number 3 of Jeff Dotson sneaking into the top 10.
I know it. Jeff, he said, man, this car felt amazing out here to him. And he's been practicing for the last couple of nights since they got the setup. And he said, man, the car just feels amazing out there. He said, look for me to maybe try to get the victory lane tonight. And I said, I'll be watching you, buddy. Kevin Cornelius.
Right now he's having a pretty good run, but something's happened. He's slipped out of the top 10 now.
Yeah, Kevin Cornelius gets by him, and so does Tom Clayton. And look at Len McNeese going backwards. Len, them older tires. Boy, it's like you said, he's dropping like a stone in the ocean. Nathan Miller.
It feels like the Titanic right now.
Nathan Miller to the inside of Michael Palmer, and that's for 7th place. So Nathan moving to the front. Like I said, you can only ride back there for so long, and you can't let that leader get out there too awful far, and you'll never get him reeled in. If it stayed green the rest of the way, you're just going to finish not first.
Checking in on our points leader, Rudy. He's back here in 21st position still, just still kind of riding. Still a long way to go in this race, so this could be by design.
Meantime, Dustin Golden got a 1 second lead over Keith Mayato. But Keith was our pole sitter tonight. Great first lap of the race, and I don't believe I congratulated him on the pole, so I'll congratulate him now. Good job, Keith. Another new member here, Gary Shank in third. He is holding on that third position quite well with that little right front damage.
I just want to say it again, Rudy. What a run by the 51 back there in 5th place that he's having here tonight. Paul Cohen is having an outstanding, strong showing here tonight.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
It's good to see Paul having a good run like this.
Tom Clayton goes into 7th. And Trevor Malone now gets around.
We got a wreck, Rudy.
Uh-oh.
No caution, though. Wow. Checked a bunch of dudes up, but no caution.
Boy, I'll tell you what, it did slow down this whole back part of the field here. And I think everybody was thinking there was going to be a caution. Michael Palmer was in that, but I did not see what happened.
Looks like the 85 got the 17 sideways. 31, Michael Palmer hit him hard. The 012 was in the wall, but everyone else checked up, didn't get involved in it. But Michael Palmer took a heavy shot as he doored the 17, who was sideways, and the 012 wound up getting some damage from hitting the wall.
Well, it looks like Kevin Cornelius is coming to pit road to get that looked at. So he'll drop way back in the field. But in the meantime, back up front, look at this. Keith Mayato has reeled up our leader, Dustin Golden.
Yes, he has.
Like you said, he wants that lead back. Now he takes it to the bottom.
I don't know if he's going to get it to work
Nope.
on the bottom. Nope.
Dustin's way too strong on that upper side for Keith to try that low line. Because, boy, look how much that cost him.
Yeah, a lot.
Now he's going to have to really get back into it to try to reel him back in. And they've got a 4.8 second lead over third place, Randy Bledsoe. That's how much it checked that field up.
We've had a couple of retirees. Kevin Cornelius decided that was too much damage, and he was going to call it a night. And Timothy Kelleher also called it an evening.
Well, Gary Shank in 4th, Paul Cohen 5th. These guys still pretty much the same way they were. Nathan Miller 6th, Tom Clayton 7th.
Nathan working his way towards the front, huh?
Yes, he is.
Wants to ride in the back.
Trevor Malone in 8th. Len McNeese still has not been on pit road yet today. 34 laps into the race. And he's still running in 9th place. If the tires feel good, more power to him. He's already a third of the way through the race on the same set of tires.
Yeah, well, he definitely don't want to pit now in the green flag conditions.
Nope. And a brand new leader, Keith Mayato, does finally get that lead away from Dustin Golden. And Golden into the wall. Dustin's he's got some damage now.
Gary Shank was almost in the wall there, too.
Paul Cohen gets by Gary Shank and goes into 4th.
We restarted on about lap 16?
Yeah, something like that, yep.
They're running 70% fuel, so I'm thinking they're definitely going to have to make one pit stop.
And Nathan Miller gets by Gary Shank, so Gary's going backwards. But like you said, he's got that damage from being into the wall. And I'm thinking Nathan Miller is going to try to get up here with Paul Cohen. Nathan's still running that low line. He said he was just going to kind of take it easy on his equipment. He wasn't going to try to force it too awful much. Michael,
You see a 31 of Michael Palmer coming off pit road there, Rudy.
yes sir, got her all fixed up.
Ooh, Nathan Miller real loose coming out of the corner, but he gets by Paul Cohen.
All tasted that front there for a little bit, was in fourth, now goes back to fifth. Next one will be Tom Clayton to try to reel him in. Mark Arthur in the 9th place. Well, I had him there for a minute. Where'd he go? Ah, he got into the outside wall coming out of turn 4. Now he's going to get passed up by quite a few. He's going to go back to 14th.
Yeah, Jeff Dotson trying to get back into that top 10 as he begins to work the 84 and Len McNeese.
And I think he's going to get him right here. Len on them old tires is really showing right now. Jeff Dotson breaks the top 10.
I think that paint scheme that Jeff's running tonight, it's a sharp looking race car.
Yeah, it is. Safety clean. Len McNeese goes back to 12th. Now let's go back here and check on a couple other ones. John Estes, 22nd in the NBC car. And he's get passed up by Jim Whaley. David Gainforth now trying to get around. Oh, looks like the number 1 there, Stephen Parks. No, Dwayne LaPrade. Sorry about that. Yep, Gainforth and LaPrade battling it up here. That's back 24th and 25th. It looks like Jim Whaley does get by Mark McFadden. So Jim Whaley goes into 21st.
A bit of tough race for Jim Whaley so far. Used to seeing him up at the front.
Yeah.
He's hard in the back of this field tonight. And just to touch on another guy we're used to seeing at the front, Rudy, our last season's champion, Shane Gross, he's up here in 15th position in the middle of this field.
Well, I think a lot of these guys are really hoping for a caution right now or something. They would all love to have fresh tires and be battling it up again because we've got a lot of cars 1 or more laps down. Charles Smith a lap down, David Gainforth, Stephen Parks, Paul Zoda, Michael Palmer, Michael Maxwell, and Dean Underwood, all 1 or more laps down.
We missed something, Rudy. Dustin Golden just took it behind the wall, and he is retired from this race.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
Watching the replay now to see if I can find out what happened for you.
Oh, that's a bummer. Well, Keith Mayato's got an 8.2 second lead over second place Randy Bledsoe.
I'm not sure what happened there, Rudy. He began slowing down and then just disappeared.
Huh.
It says he manually disconnected, so I don't know what kind of explanation to give you, buddy. He vanished.
Yep, I don't know. Because I know he's a pretty good racer. And he led 19 laps tonight, the most of anybody. That's kind of a shame that he gave up that possible victory and possible points for whatever. Tom Clayton goes into 3rd, Paul Cohen back into 4th, Jim Locking 5th, and who's that? We got guys
Mark
on pit road.
Coming down pit road, yep.
All right,
Points leader on pit road.
Yep. Nathan Miller is away. Gary Shank
Mark's
on
got
pit
right
road.
side damage.
Mark's still sitting on pit road, maybe trying to get that damage fixed up. Now I guess he's away.
We got one in the grass trying to enter pit road. He's got on the apron now, getting it going. Gary Shank coming off pit road. Almost halfway through this race, Rudy.
Boy, what a lead Keith Mayato's got over second place. Jim Locking, 21 and a half seconds.
Somebody coming into pit road just slid and hit the side wall, Rudy.
or 22 seconds now ahead of second place. Jim Locking coming to pit road.
That was Dean Viney that slid into the pits. Probably got an unsafe pit entrance. He hit the inside pit wall. He's down and away. We do have a caution, Rudy. Third of the evening.
Oh, boy.
Wow, I wonder how that's going to shake out these pit stops now. That's going to put some guys some laps down.
Now, would that have been Dean Viney that brought that up? Because...
no, Dean was sitting on pit road. Dean was already at the end of his stop as that come out. He was pulling away just as it come out.
I wonder how
it's going to actually hurt Dean Viney and everybody else. You're going to have just 9 cars left on the lead lap. Wow.
I don't know where the caution.
Everybody.
I don't know where the caution was then. I don't know. Well, this will be good for Keith Mayato because it's just about the time for him to come to pit road anyhow. But a lot of these guys just come off pit road. They're not going to have to stop. And that could have cost Keith Mayato a lot right there because now he's going to come out back in the field a ways.
Question is, can these guys get back on before all these leaders get off pit road? Otherwise, they'll all still be a lap down. They'll all get the wave round at the end, but they'll all be at the end of the field.
Right. Oh, Keith Mayato has to back up. Well, I think we ought to...
Charles Smith got the wave around there, Rudy. He's back in the lead lap. He come into tonight's race second in the points, so that's a good thing for him.
Well, Keith's still going to come out the leader. But I wanted to talk to Terry Walters. Terry Walters, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you're just now coming on pit road, or you're just coming off pit road? Just coming off, okay. A good track position here. It looks like you're going to come out third. Wow, that's great. Great move forward for you. How's your car feeling out here on the long run?
The car feels great tonight. It's rolling through the center real smooth, coming off the exit real smooth. Great handling car.
Well, that's what the reports that we've been hearing. Everybody's been saying that the setup is amazing and the car feels great out here on the track tonight. Do you think the weather had anything to do with it? Because I noticed the temperature was down just a little bit.
That might do it. It might have something to do with it. Like I said, it feels great. They did a great job with this setup.
Well, that's always a plus when you got a good setup out there to work with. So, keep picking your way through the field and working closer to the front there, Terry. We'll let you get back to work, brother. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Well, he's still going to come out about 9th place, so that's not too bad. But Keith Mayato will still hold on to the lead. That's pretty great.
Well, we're officially halfway through this race, Rudy.
Yes, sir. 50 to go, folks. I was just trying to catch up with chat here for a second.
Just to give everybody a quick rundown of the top 10. Keith Maito, is that how you say it? Maito is your leader. Michael Campbell second. Jeff Dotson sitting up there in third place. Last season's points champion Shane Gross has worked his way up to fourth. And we were just talking about Jim Whaley a few minutes ago, Rudy, how he'd been running in the back. He's back up to fifth now. John Stanley runs sixth. Mark Arthur seventh. Anthony Cianci eighth. Terry Walters, we just spoke to him. He's running ninth. And Randy Bledsoe rounds out the top 10. The 14 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, we got...
You guys just got the way by there, though.
Yeah, just getting the iRacing way by. I'll put them back to the tail end of the field, but still sitting in good position.
That's still a long way to go.
Well, Curtis Aho in chat saying that he missed the start of the race. So he said that's going to hurt him in the points. Yes, it is, Curtis.
Yep. He come in third. Ooh, we got some interesting events here under caution here. I don't know what's going on here with the 5 and the 1. Maybe these guys are all dropping back. Looks like it.
Pace car's in.
That was interesting. Green flag's out.
Great start. Look at Jeff Dotson slipping in here trying to get a second place. And Mr. Bravery right there on them new tires. Boy, he's keeping right up with the leader.
Yeah, he is. Look at this.
Yeah.
Having a heck of a run here tonight for the old 3. He just got to catch his breath, take a big old breath right now, and gather himself.
Michael Campbell going backwards as Shane Gross, last season's champion, takes over third. Jim Whaley in fifth place as he gets around Michael Campbell here, or trying to get around Michael Campbell. Anthony Cianci will be in sixth. Mark Arthur, 7th. We got a lot of lap cars mixed in here, folks, that, looking at Paul Zoda, he's kind of mixed in with these guys here, but he is back in 17th position, 1 lap down. A few lap cars mixed in with the lead lap cars. Terry Walters now in 8th, Randy Bledsoe 9th. And this is quite the battle here. Nathan Miller now closes up on Bledsoe. Mark McFadden there, but Mark is a lap down.
That's a tough break for our points leader to be a lap down.
I know it. He's just probably booting himself in the rear right now about, man, how did I manage to do this? But he does have a lot of race left to go here that, you never know. Things can happen. Things can change. I mean, we would have never in a million years thought Dustin Golden would have dropped out after leading 19 laps, but he did.
Yeah, that was odd how he dropped out, too. Look at this, Rudy. Jeff Dotson almost up here side by side with the leader. He's running a complete different line than Maito is. And I'm surprised it's working because he's using that bottom line pretty much all the way through the corner and then sliding up out of the corner. Look at this.
If it's working.
That time it a little loose, though. That time it didn't work as well as it had been working. Especially the tires are going to fall off, and he's not going to be able to run that line no more.
Yeah, well, I just hope he doesn't burn them tires up so quick, And he's keeping it pinned down just a little bit too much, and I think that's what's costing him.
That's what I'm afraid of. The line he's running is going to burn them tires up pretty quickly.
Yep. He needs to right here let it go out to the wall. And he's not. See, he's keeping it about a lane off of the wall. And that's what's hurting them tires.
Tell you what, there is quite the race going on back here.
Nathan Miller and Randy Bledsoe still at it. Nathan down on the bottom. I think he did beat Bledsoe to the line that time. And he will go into 8th place. Oh, what happened to Michael Campbell? Okay, he's back. Phew, he blinked right out there for gone. He was gone for a minute. Yeah, this is quite the battle in here. We got lap cars mixed in with lead lap cars. Mark Arthur trying to work forward, but he's got some lap cars in there. Well, I guess these guys aren't. Anthony Cianci is not, but he does get around Anthony Cianci on the outside. Now, Mark's got a little right front damage on that car. Obviously not affecting it too awful much as far as handling. And now he's on the outside of Jim Whaley. So he's finding something up on that high side that's working for Mark Arthur because he is motoring by.
Yeah, we saw him going backwards earlier in this race. He had gotten in a wall earlier in this race and started falling back. That's what happens when you get the car fixed.
That's right.
That's how that one reset can big difference. Whoa, Jeff Dotson. I think he's starting to feel them tires now. There was a big moment there.
And boy, that let Michael Campbell close right up on his bumper, didn't it?
I've been impressed with how Dotson's been driving, though, but he's definitely going to have to start managing them tires a little bit. He's on the ragged edge right now.
Yeah, he's got to start letting that go up the hill, you know, because trying to keep it pinned down there is just chewing them tires up. Now that was a little bit better that time. Now these guys, they know what they're doing. Shane Gross, 4th place. Paul Zoda just drove right on around him, but Paul back in. If we can find Paul Zoda, where the heck is he? There he is. He is a lap down right behind Gary Shank. If a caution would come out right now, Gary Shank would be the way by. Paul Zoda closes that door on Mark Arthur. Mark had a pretty good run right there on the outside, but Paul kind of washed up the hill in front of Mark and really slowed that progression up. Now Mark's really all over the back of him. Think, come on, let's go.
Up here in front of him, Rudy Campbell finally got by Dotson. I think we're starting to see Dotson's burn up his stuff because here comes Gary Shank. He's going to get around him on the bottom. Yeah, running that line that Dotson was running, it was just a matter of time before the tires would fall way off, and here they are falling way off.
Mark Arthur goes into 4th. Mark figuring out the line on this car, and he's doing real well now. Even though he's got that little bit of right front damage, he's still motoring here. He's doing great. And he's coming up on Jeff Dotson now on the outside of Jeff, and he makes it passable. He's found that outside line's working great now.
They're back here for 6th. Anthony Cianci just got by Jim Whaley Jr., and he moves into 6th place, Rudy.
Whaley all over the back of him, though. Probably not too happy about that pass, thinking, man, I wanted to keep that position, but the Hot Wheels car just motoring here in 7th place. Nathan Miller 8th, Randy Bledsoe 9th, and Tom Clayton 10th. That is your top 10, folks. And Keith Mayato with a 4/10 of a lead over Michael Campbell now.
Who's led the most laps here tonight, Rudy?
Keith Mayato, 35 laps he's led, coming to 36. Dustin Golden had it with 19 laps, but he's gone now, so. It's going to be 30 to go here in another lap, so. Man, they're just clicking the laps down here.
Michael Campbell doing everything he can to try to reel in Keith here. You got to tip your cap to Michael Campbell for conserving his tires as long as he was battling with Jeff Dotson there and trying to run him down. Gary Shank's just hanging on here, or excuse me, Mark Arthur rather. Shank in between them.
Older announcer's mic is way too high. Okay, my mic's way too high. I'm the older announcer.
The older announcer. I like that. Someone start calling you, Rudy, the older announcer.
Mary Poppins in chat. Wow. That's original.
That's classic.
Mark Arthur
Mary
third.
Poppins just called you an old man, Rudy.
That's right. Jeff Dotson still hanging on to fourth, but he's got Shane Gross all over his tail. I am super impressed with Mark Arthur now that he's gotten around. Jeff Dotson has just cruised away from him. He's about 2.5 seconds away from Jeff Dotson.
Yeah, Jeff's got quite the battle going on here in his rearview mirror. Shane Gross and Anthony Cianci and Jim Whaley Jr. all close in. Dotson doing everything he can to keep these guys behind him, but he's feeling it right now. He's just dying for a caution.
Yep, and we got the lap down car there of Dean Underwood. He is a couple of laps down.
He goes around easy on the outside.
Yeah, I think
now here come all these vultures. They're going to pounce. There goes Shane Gross right away. Cianci's going to get by. Well, maybe not so easy with him. Dotson's trying to battle him. He'll hold him off. Just shows you, Rudy, even with older tires, that higher line is the preferred line. Woo, fishing down there. How about that? A little defensive move.
I seen that. Yeah, I think Jeff would probably find out that he'd probably have a whole lot more grip up there higher if he would just stay up a little bit higher.
I think he's doing everything he can right now just to keep some of these guys behind him. Meanwhile, closing in not too far behind is the two of Nathan Miller. Slowly reeling these guys in.
Not far behind him is Tom Clayton. Tom's been on a roll lately, not just here but in other leagues. He's been on a really good high roll, and I don't know. Maybe he's just not comfortable out here tonight with his B car.
Hey, he's a former champion here, plus we've seen him win championships in other leagues. We got a caution here, and he'll be a player here at the end of this thing.
Michael Campbell coming to pit road. This will be his final pit stop of the night.
He's got to be in and out.
Good pit stop. 14.5 seconds.
Down on the way.
Keith Mayato out front ahead of Mark Arthur by 6.6 seconds. We'll wait to see if when these guys come to pit road to make their final pit stop.
As you know, the longer you stay out, the more time you'll lose on them older tires.
And Mark Arthur is coming to pit road. He's giving that second place up to Shane Gross.
Heard somebody hit the wall.
Mark Arthur with that little bit of damage. Now, if he has a reset left, he may be able to use that reset right now and make that car just like brand new.
And the 6 continues to stay out, Rudy. We'll see how that affects the overall factor of this race once he makes a green flag pit stop.
All right, 4-tire pit stop for Mark Arthur, and he's away. No time to take to try to fix that damage. And we're still waiting to see when our leader's going to come to pit road.
I imagine it'll be soon.
Here it is. Yes.
I didn't think he'd stay out there much longer. Everybody's got fresh tires now. He needed to come in. Might have been a lap too long, actually.
That's probably...
See how it cycles out. Hey, Whaley right there, right in front of him, coming off pit road.
Well, you ain't never going to believe this, but Jeff Dotson just took the lead.
Yeah, he's still out there in them old tires. Begging for a caution.
Yeah, well, he just lost it right there and hit the wall, and Nathan Miller went by him. I think Jeff was really trying to get one lap lead. He never even did get a lap lead out of that, so...
Here comes Nathan Miller. He's going to give it up.
Well, I think you're going to see a lot of these guys coming to pit road now. Anthony Cianci coming to pit road. Jeff Dotson.
And Dotson needed to come.
Yeah, that's going to give the lead up to Terry Walters.
Randy Perdue took it behind the wall, Rudy. He's going to call it an evening. We got 20 to go, buddy.
Boy, the laps are clicking down pretty fast now.
You got the 81 in the grass here, and that's Randy Bledsoe. And I don't know what he's doing. He's just going to tow it. Wow, tough for him late in the race.
Yeah, he was
Miller
running,
down and away.
He was running pretty good too.
Yeah, he just took it behind the wall, Rudy. He's done.
Dang. Well, Terry Walters still out here leading some laps, but he's getting passed up. Len McNeese goes around him, but Len is trying to find Len here. He is back in 20th position. He's a couple of laps down after leading 12 laps earlier in the race. Mark Arthur getting back on the lead lap as he goes around Terry Walters, and he's in 4th. So Terry's he's got to be thinking about coming to pit road here pretty soon. I wouldn't think he's going to want to stay out there. Is he going to try to... Surely he can't make it the whole way.
Maybe he's just hoping for a caution right now because there's a lot of people a lap down.
That's true. Because Keith Mayato, which has led to most laps tonight, 47 laps, was our pole sitter. He is now 20 seconds behind Terry, but boy, is he ever closing that gap up quick.
Yeah, but if he can't make it to the end, he'll never catch him.
Nope, Terry's on pit road.
So much for that.
Yep. Washes that out the window, and that gives the lead back up to Keith Mayato. And he's going to have a pretty good lead.
Yeah, he is.
Mark Arthur will go into second. He's got a 10-second lead over Mark Arthur. So Mark Arthur's debut race here, a guy that all I've ever seen Mark run is the street stocks. He said he wasn't too sure about these B cars, but look at this here. That tells you what kind of a guy Mark Arthur, a driver he is, able to adapt to the different types of cars that you run in. You know, he's been a street stock racer as long as I've known Mark Arthur. And now he's running in this Xfinity car. Hey, it ain't that much different. A little bit bigger, a little heavier.
Well, this has been quite the race here tonight, Rudy. How many cautions have we had this evening?
Let's take a look here. 3 cautions. Not bad.
That's what I thought, just 3. That's pretty good.
Yep, 3 cautions for 11 laps, and we've had 9 lead changes. Well, we don't want to jinx them.
Our leader coming up on slower traffic here. We'll see if this plays into this.
Yeah, let's run around the field here real quick while they're still under green. Keith Mayato started on the pole, has led 50, make it 51 when he crosses the line, and is our leader. Mark Arthur started 6th place, running in 2nd. Michael Campbell started 12th, running in 3rd. Shane Gross started 18th, running in 4th, and we have a caution. Oh, you want to bring a caution out? Just let me start that stuff. Right?
We got ourselves a caution.
I'm trying to find it here. Oh, Michael Campbell? No, that wasn't him. What did bring the caution out? Trying to find a caution here, folks.
Check out Gary Shank. I'm seeing him all damaged up.
Let me go back.
Dean Viney and Gary Shank.
That might have been. Gary Shank was loose on the outside. Oh! And Dean just come along and got into him. But Gary was sideways before Dean ever got into him. Oh, and Jeff Dotson. Oh, Jeff got a piece of it. Oh, but I don't think it's going to hurt Jeff too awful much.
Did he hit him?
It barely. I mean, actually, it was more of a. I don't even
Looked
think.
like net code.
Yeah, more net code, but he still got damage off of it.
Man.
I'm going to go back here and look at. Because Jeff did a heck of a job trying to miss all that. He did miss Dean Viney at the end, but yeah, more net coding than anything.
Maito didn't want to see this, Rudy. That 9-second lead's out the window now.
Yep. Jeff Dotson, let me go to the rear chase here as well. We'll go nice and slow here and watch us as he comes up on Gary Shank. Right here, that they don't actually touch. I mean, there were sparks there and everything, but I mean, wow. They were a long ways away.
So we got a new contender once this thing goes back green. Shane Gross, second man out of the box.
And,
Maito made it out first. Gross out second. Mark Arthur third. Looks like Nathan Miller come out fourth. So a couple heavy contenders going to show up late in this race.
But look who's in the lead right now for the first time tonight. Mr. knows how to play the fuel mileage tire game out there, Tom Clayton.
Yeah, but all these other guys stopped and got fresh tires. He's going to be out there on old tires. We saw how that didn't work out earlier.
Well, they're going to have a short stint here. Probably 9 laps to go, I think, somewhere along in there when they get the green.
Yeah, it sounds short, but when you're on older tires, a place that, is notorious for tires, it's really not that short.
Yeah, it's probably going to feel like 100 laps to Tom Clayton out there on them older tires. Him and Jeff Dotson staying out, and John Stanley and Jim Locking. 4 of them stay out on them older tires.
Throwing the dice, Rudy.
Yep, all about track position.
Now, we've called races where we've seen people throw the dice at the end, and then the green flag comes out and immediately get a caution. Then the same thing happens again, then the race winds up finishing under caution, and the gamble pays off.
Well, if you remember, I think it was last season here, right here at GAC, Len McNeese did that. It was like back-to-back cautions.
Somewhere.
Yeah. And he wound up winning the race just because of back-to-back cautions.
Yeah, you never know how it's going to play out. Got to do what you got to do in racing.
That's right.
A bunch of guys are going to get waved by here, so might see some more guys get back on the lead lap here, a chance to gain some points before this one's over. But the lights are out, Rudy. Get us going, buddy.
Yeah, Len McNeese and Dwayne LaPrade will be back on the lead lap. That's 14th and 15th. They come around to catch up to the tail end of the field just before we go green. So the 4 front runners are on older tires, and everybody behind them are actually on brand new tires. So let's see how this works. Nathan Miller right there, Mark Arthur, and our pole sitter and the guy that's led the most laps, Keith Mayato.
I wouldn't be surprised if the 2 or the 41 win this race, Rudy.
All right, pace car's in. And what could be the last green flag start right here. Go, go, go. Green, green, green. John Stanley all over Tom Clayton as he goes into second. Keith Mayato not wasting any time. Boy, what a start he got on them new tires, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
And he immediately goes right to that high side where he's been so good. Now he's dropping it down to the low side, but John Stanley trying to put the old block maneuver on him there. All over the back of John Stanley. They got 8 to go. Right now, these 3 are kind of like dead set, you know, lap-wise. But here comes Keith Mayato to the bottom underneath John Stanley. A bid for second. And he's just going to drive right on by John Stanley, come up in front of him.
Some fresher tires, Rudy.
Shane Gross now gets around Jeff Dotson. I want to stay up here on this lead because I'm waiting to see when Keith Mayato is going to get a run on Tom Clayton. And
right
here
here
he goes. Takes it to the bottom.
Question is, will it work going through the bottom, 2, 3, and 4?
Well, with them new tires, he can hold it for at least we know a couple of laps.
Yeah, he's got him. He's going to be smooth sailing now, Rudy. Might as well set the sail. And Shane Gross and Nathan Miller, they couldn't get by the slower traffic quicker, and they're going to be a little ways back here. But they're both 4th and 5th now.
That's a great run for both of them. But back here, the ones that got back on the lead lap, Len McNeese and Dwayne LaPrade, they're in a race of their own to see who can beat who here at the end of the race. 6 laps to go. Keith Mayato in the lead. Tom Clayton second. John Stanley third.
What a run by the 12 John Stanley tonight, huh, Rudy?
Yeah, that was a pretty gutsy move, staying out there on them older tires. Now he's took a peek to the inside of Tom Clayton. Now he might try the outside.
It's been a minute since we've seen John have a strong finish here tonight, and he's bidding for one right now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And Nathan Miller gets by Shane Gross for 4th place. Jeff Dotson's about to lose 6th place back here to Jim Whaley Jr.
And there he goes.
He does.
It's still a good, strong run for Jeff Dotson tonight. But he's about to lose another one here as Jim Locking comes up. And he sticks his nose to the underside here, and he will pass up. And Mark Arthur as well. Mark takes him to the outside. And we're almost 3 wide right there. Holy smokes, back here in the field. This is some great racing back here, guys.
Yes, sir. Charles Smith, who was once a lap down, has broke back into the top 10 here, Rudy, as Jeff Dotson has fallen all the way to 9th. Ooh, we're wrecking. Big wreck here at the end of the race. Caution will come out. They're still wrecking.
Who was it?
This race will finish under caution, folks. There was a bunch of them.
Oh, we'll find it. That would have been, looks like Dean Underwood, but let me...
85 was in it. 85 got into gain 4th, and I can't tell. Paul Zoda and some others got collected in it.
Right here, the 29 Dean Underwood up against the wall, but that's not what brought the caution out.
No, it was 85 getting into the side of gain 4th. Speaking of someone we didn't talk about tonight, David Gameforth, his night just got worse, Rudy. He had a pretty tough night, and that's a tough way to finish it for Dave.
watching here. And Gainforth on the bottom, the 85 on the outside.
And contact under caution between the 51 and the 31 as everybody was checking up here. Everybody looks to be all right, but 51, good thing they're not going racing again because he's got front end damage. I don't think anybody called out. They were checking up there. A lot of guys were heavy on the brakes.
Well, I haven't found this caution yet.
It happened, Rudy, I promise.
Oh, I believe you. I'm just... trying to figure out why it went back so far.
Well, it's a white flag, buddy. One more time around here, and Keith Maito will be your winner.
I don't know. I can't find it. I'm not seeing it. I followed him for 3 laps. I never seen it. So I don't know. But anyhow, Keith Maito.
There you go.
Tom Clayton second, and John Stanley third. Last lap, white flag in the air. Finishing under caution here tonight. 5 cautions for 16 laps. Really not too bad, Scott.
No, that's pretty solid. That was a solid race. These guys raced hard tonight. The car felt good. You know, there's a lot of competitive racing. That one where everybody pitted under green and then the caution came out really put people a lap down, put a lot of people a lap down. That was unfortunate. But all in all, it's a pretty good race.
Yes, sir. All right, I'll grab the winner and drag him down here. You can grab the other ones.
All righty.
Keith Maito, you got a copy?
10-4.
Well, you start on the pole and you finish first, lead the most laps. Clean up job for you on the points tonight.
Sorry, I'm just in the middle of I got the audio of the game going on, but
Oh.
yeah, it was so I couldn't hear you. But yeah, I was doing it. I just laying back and just saving my stuff the whole race. That's pretty much what I was doing.
Well, that looked like a pretty intense finish there. You know, when you got around Tom Clayton, you just kind of set sail. You know, you probably knew them guys stayed out there on them older tires, and they did it for track position. And, you know, as you can see, it worked out good for Tom and John, you know, for them coming in second and third. But you had newer tires. You were definitely hooked up out there tonight. Tell us about some of the other points of the race that really stick out in your mind as intense.
I guess my battle with, I think it was it Dustin, I believe, when he was leading the race, and that was the biggest part right there, was just staying with him. That's the only goal I had, was just to keep up with him, and luckily enough to have one time where he did rub the wall. I was aiming a little bit lower in the apex, and I was able to miss him.
Yeah, well, it looked like he was going to be the car out there to beat tonight, and I don't know what happened to him after leading 19 laps. He just disconnected. So I don't know if it would have come down to you and him battling up, maybe with Tom and John there too. But a great race out there tonight, Keith. Anybody you want to thank?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd like to thank GIC for putting on the race tonight.
Very good, very good. Well, before you go celebrate, are you looking forward to next week?
I am. Hopefully the streak continuing, or create a streak, I should say.
There you go, there you go. All right, I'm not sure where they're racing at next week. Do you know, Scott?
Martinsville.
Martinsville. Are you any good there, Keith?
It's not my forte, but I better get my load cell fixed if I want to go race there.
Yeah, is it on the brake?
Yeah, it is on the brake. It was acting up on this one.
Okay, well, good, because you probably didn't need a whole lot of brake here tonight, but yeah, you're going to need it next week. You better get that fixed, buddy. All right, go celebrate, Keith. A good win tonight. Congrats.
Will do. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
All right, you got second place, Tom Clayton there, Scott.
Yes, sir. Tom Clayton, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Tom, you started back there in 16th place. You came home second tonight, and I was just looking at the points, and it's going to be pretty close, but I think you might come out of this with the points lead by 1 or 2 points. How you feeling about that?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I really didn't have that great of a car tonight, so I had to use a little strategy to get up front, but, you know, it worked out, and I was able to hold off third place. John, who's come in a hurry. So another lap or two, and he would have definitely got me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. It's been a while since we've seen John have a strong running, and he was running really strong tonight. And it looked like he was trying to do everything he could to get by you, and I was going to ask you what you did to hold him off.
No, I was just using a lot of the racetrack. I mean, I wasn't blocking him, but I was trying to run the line he was running, and But hats off to John. He ran a great race.
Well, we're going to see you run strong again next week at Martinsville. Is that one of your favorite places?
It really is. I like Martinsville a lot, so got a good chance of having a good finish there, just as long as we can dodge the wrecks.
Well, Tom, we've seen you win a championship in this league before, and you're well on your way to another one, buddy. You got anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, I thank GAC for putting this on. Great group of guys here. Thank you guys, MaxSpeedTV. You and Rudy, you guys do a great job.
All right, buddy. Well, good job tonight. We'll see you next week at Martinsville.
Thank you.
Rudy?
Go ahead, Rudy. Well, I started out in the middle of the back there, and things got a little rough, and I got run into there in that first caution. So rather than take my quick fix, I just had the pit crew patch it up, and they didn't do too bad a job until I touched the wall there once. But I kept on tracking, tried to keep her clean, and the guys are pretty good to race around. So the last green flag stop, I went in, I used my quick fix and got the car all fixed up, and came out and just raced her clean. And like I say, the guys are good to race around. So, and of course, racing with all these great guys here, you do learn a trick or two. So after last week's there, 4 laps left, I was in second place and touched the curb there and lost it. So this is sort of redeeming myself for last week.
Absolutely. Well, great run tonight, John. I'll tell you what, it was good to see you up there in the front like that. Now, you stayed out there on them older tires, and was you a little bit concerned about it? I know Keith didn't have a problem getting by you and Tom, but was you concerned Nathan Miller was coming and closing up on you?
I just looked in the mirror there, and I seen them coming, and I said, holy smokes, I better get going. So that's when I started pressing Tom to get by him, because he was holding me up a little bit, and luckily the caution came out, I guess.
Well, good job out there tonight, John. Congrats on third place, and are you looking forward to Martinsville next week?
Yeah, I always like the short track racing. I find it less nervous than racing the bigger tracks.
That's true, yeah. Well, you don't have a broken load cell now, do you?
No.
Okay.
The old D25 will get me through, I guess.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll be looking for you next week, John. Hopefully you can have another great finish. But congrats on third place tonight. Anybody you want to thank?
Well, I want to thank GAC and Dean for all he does. I know he's in long days after the race, getting everything straightened out. And you and Scott, and a shout out to all the guys watching on the portal.
Very good, very good. Well, you put on a heck of a show out there. Only 5 cautions tonight, so great job by everybody out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was a great race.
All right, thanks for talking with us, John, and again, congrats.
Thanks, Rudy.
All right, Scott, let's run down through the results here, buddy.
Sounds good.
Keith Maiato coming home the winner here tonight after leading 60 laps, the most laps of anybody. Tom Clayton, Tom only led 5 laps, but he comes in second. John Stanley third, Nathan Miller fourth. Shane Gross, last season's winner, comes home fifth. Jim Whaley sixth. Mark Arthur, his debut race here today, finishing seventh. So good run for Mark tonight. Jim Locking in eighth. Jeff Dotson staying out there on them old tires and trying to push a little bit too hard, but finishes ninth. Anyhow, top 10 finish for him. Good job. And Charles Smith rounding out the top 10. Scott?
Anthony Cianci will finish 11th. Michael Campbell, we saw him up there running in second place for the longest time. Unfortunately, he finishes 12th. Terry Walters finishes 13th. Lynn McNeese, we saw him up front early on in the race. Unfortunately, he finished 14th this evening. Dwayne LaPrade, 15th. Rob Whitmore is 16th. Michael Palmer 17th, Paul Cohen 18th, James Tyler 19th, and Paul Zoda rounds out the top 20. Rudy?
All right, John Estes, 21st, Mark McFadden, 22nd, Dean Miney, 23rd, Gary Shank, 24th, Stephen Parks, 25th, David Gainforth, 26th, Trevor Malone, 27th, Dean Underwood, 28th, Randy Bledsoe, 29th, and Randy Purdue, 30th. Scott?
I already closed it out, Rudy.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were going to hand it back to me.
Dustin Golden coming home 31st, and we were still trying to figure out what happened to Dustin. He led 19 laps, just pulled it off and quit, or what? I'm not sure what happened there, but maybe he had another commitment. But Dustin Golden finishing 31st, Michael Maxwell 32nd, Kevin Cornelius 33rd, and Timothy Kelleher rounding out the field in 34th position. So great race tonight by these guys. And congrats again to our winner, Keith Mayato. And we will see you next week back here at GAC on the Live iRacing portal. Thanks to iRacing for allowing us to broadcast up to the portal. And special shout out to Jack Davidson for making all that happen. So thank you guys very, very much. And we will see you back here at Martinsville, folks. Till then, stay safe and have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.